if you're used to listening to this podcast on a regular, I ask for you to please just forgive me for this is about to be some super non-black stuff, because it was so funny because I was just laughing. I'm like, dang, that's kind of cool that my timeline don't have nothing to do with Taylor Swift, because I was looking for some sports topics or something doing, I guess, like just a regular, what was it, like Friday, I want to say, and the album came out like early Friday morning. I'm just checking scores to see what was going on, and I was kind of proud. I'm like, dang, the Shade Room, the Neighborhood Talk, none of these pages have picked up anything about Taylor Swift or her album. And then just, of course, like I said, just stumbling across one of these football pages, and I was kind of like, dang, this off the early in the morning, this a bunch of older white men, and I'm kind of like, damn, y'all got a Taylor Swift take on a football show, on an album already. So I was like, all right, maybe their kids made them listen to it before they go to school. I don't know how early this show actually starts. So I'm gonna start off with that clip, and then today, of course, we record on Sunday, so then I don't know how my TikTok stumbled or sit here and said, hey, don't miss out on this conversation, because this conversation with the Taylor Swift thing kind of gets to double down on my take. What was that? Maybe two or 3 weeks ago now, when we were talking about Kayla Nicole and the Chris Brown situation, and I was telling y'all how I was so disturbed and so I guess kind of, I mean, of course, looking at men in my comment section sideways about, oh, I would choose Taylor Swift and this, that, and the third. So just, and because she got all this money. So I do kind of want to, I feel like the name of this episode but can you be legendary and also miserable? And because I do feel like when I play these Taylor Swift clips, you'll kind of understand it. And also, of course, when we talk about Nicki Minaj later on in the episode, you'll understand it. But I do think a lot of, I almost kind of wanted to go back. Like I was like, when I was listening, and of course I didn't actually take time to go listen to the Taylor Swift album, but I kind of almost dagged it to the point where I was like, almost wanted to go literally person by person in my comment section who everybody and their mother felt like they would choose Taylor Swift over Kayla Nicole, because I don't necessarily know if Taylor Swift believes that Travis Kelce is actually. But I'll play it. And please, again, like I said, if you normally used to listening to this will, I promise you, this will probably be the most white voices you will ever hear on this podcast ever in life. But me personally, I seen black people talking about Taylor Swift album, but I feel like that's kind of like, me personally, I wouldn't go listen to white people telling me about NBA Youngboy or Young Jeezy or something like that. Like, I just feel like it's levels to this. So allow their people to speak on how they listen to this album and how they digested it. Because I don't know how TikTok just mysteriously put all these white women on my timeline today. But I said, hey, look at God doing God's work on a Sunday. So I'm going to allow these white people to sit here and have their own back and forth beefs.
I quite frankly didn't like his commentary, and I'm not going to now dislike Gary Cohen over it, as he's a great broadcaster. He's been a part of my life for a long time. I thought it was completely unnecessary.
Oh, what the hell? I picked the wrong. I thought that was the Taylor Swift joke. So I missed I picked the wrong joke.
Hot take.
But I will go to the women, all the women that I got, because I got endless women. Damn, I thought I had the football joke. But it don't matter. That don't make a difference. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Taylor Swift's new album is many things. Unfortunately, good is not one of them. I knew the album wasn't going to be good as soon as the title was revealed, but the promo pics made me curious, so I have listened to the album in full. And now, having listened to it, the album's problem is glaringly obvious. The problem is Taylor Swift is aging out of being a white girl. Before you scroll, let me cook. When Taylor was a teenager, she wanted to be a pop star, so her parents decided to take the country route. Keep in mind, this is the 2000s. Pop music was highly sexual, it was sleazy, and then you had things like bling rap. It's on a place for a little white girl. Country music, on the other hand, loves a little white girl, and she's blonde, they'll eat her up. So her family moved from Pennsylvania to Tennessee to launch her country career. That's why for the first several years of her career, she faked a southern accent. She was trying to fit in, seem authentic. Once the pop landscape started to change the late 2000s and early 2010s, that's when she started to transition to making pop music. And now to talk about white girls. White girls don't have sex. They don't know what that is. White girls they're cute, they're adorable, they're like dolls, they're precious, they have to be protected. Do you remember a couple months ago whenever parents would bring their kids to Sabrina Carpenter shows and then act aghast because Sabrina Carpenter, who is a highly sexual artist, was referencing sex on stage? Of course they were, because how could a short, cute little white girl who is also blonde, a blonde, cute little white girl, how could she possibly know what sex is? It's the assumption. Women having sexual freedom and willingly engaging in sex is highly associated with blackness. You can see this most clearly when it comes to things like Disney and Nickelodeon stars. Miley Cyrus, she was Hannah Montana, all-American girl. And what does she do whenever she wanted to shed the Disney image and say, hey, I'm not just a little girl anymore? She releases Can't Be Tamed and Bangers. Ariana Grande, another cute little white girl. What does she do whenever she wants to shed the childhood image? She releases Dangerous Woman and Sweetener. They would do things like hang out with rappers. They would incorporate black music styles into their own music. So that way, whenever they'd be sexual, it's like, oh, I'm not just a little white girl anymore. And over time, they would drift away from that because that wasn't who they authentically were. They were just using that as a way to escape the chains of being a white girl. Taylor Swift has never had to do that, and why would she? She makes being a white girl so fucking profitable. And the thing about Taylor Swift is that being a white girl is not just profitable for her, it's her entire brand. Because she's just, like, so awkward. And whenever she dances on stage, she's, like, bad because she's like, awkward. And she loves, like, cats and baking and, like, hanging out with her fans. And she would likely continue with this forever, except for one small problem. Taylor Swift is 35 years old. And it's not like she's showing signs of aging or anything, but the brand of being a white girl is very much being a white girl. What happens in a few years whenever she's 40? What happens whenever she starts to get wrinkles? Once you're middle-aged, it's not cute anymore to be awkward. So she's aging out of being a white girl, but she doesn't have a brand or really even a sense of self outside of being a white girl. Also, low-key, this is the entire key to her relationship with Travis Kelce, which is not going to go well, but that's a story for another day. And keep in mind, the world has been moving on. An artist like Sabrina Carpenter could not exist 10 years ago. There was nowhere in the pop landscape for.
I'm just going to pause it real quick, just because I want y'all to understand why I feel like you have to allow white people to speak on this. Because let's be clear, I've seen some black people, but again, I just don't think a black person can give you a legit breakdown on how white people feel about their favorite white artist.
For her, for like a cute little white girl who's that sexual, it didn't exist. And then on top of that, things have been rapidly changing politically, so people want different things from women now. And the life of a showgirl is a testament to Taylor's inability to rise to the occasion. Like on the song Wish List, oh, everybody wants bright lights and designer things, and they want like a fat ass. But me, then we get to the chorus, but me, I just want to have all of your kids. I want to have all of your kids, and then I want to live in a house, and I want the driveway to have a basketball hoop in it for our kids. And Taylor's personal struggle between her being her own woman and her being a cute little white girl is really embodied by the song Wood. It's called Wood because it's in reference to Travis Kelce's, that. But the song isn't sexual at all, because the song isn't about sex. It's about a woman justifying the fact that she has sex. The song starts with her picking petals off of a daisy. Oh, he loves me not. Taylor portrays herself as being super insecure until Travis Kelce digmatizes her and opens up her eyes. And keep in mind, white girls cannot be sexual beings. It's not that she has sexual feelings, it's that a man came along and unlocked it in her. The curse was lifted. You see?
I got a question for y'all. Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe that white women can't be sexual beings? Because when she's saying that, it made me think like second, like, damn, how many white women is kind of like super popular for being like, I guess like over sexy, and maybe in that, to me, kind of what made me think of is like, and I guess the ones that are like people find attractive or call sexy, those have kind of been like the super household names of white women that kind of like trickled over into the black community from like the Madonnas. What was the white girl back in the day with the like used to do all the ads, and she had like a little teeny mole on her face. I can't remember. Cindy Crawford, Pamela Anderson, the whole Kardashian family, but they have done a lot of surgery to kind of make themselves look a lot more sexier than what they originally looked like. From even Christina Aguilera. Like I feel like it's not as many. When she said it, it kind of made me think like, damn, is it really a bunch of white women that's kind of like overly like super like what people would consider sexy, and it is that like a thing where they kind of shy away from it, and maybe that's why like the ones that don't kind of cross over to black culture a little bit.
It makes sense because like you can't think of a lot of white girls or white women or whatever that they would say were sexy.
Damn,
and when they were, it was like
They was a one of one. Like they super stand out. Like when Pamela Anderson was Pamela Anderson, like that was it. It was nobody else. Like it was other women on Baywatch, but Pamela Anderson was like she was the one that stood out. Like and think about how big Baywatch was. Like think about in 2025, Baywatch wouldn't stand a chance in hell because you see half naked women all day long, up and down every timeline. It don't matter what the platform is. So but it's still thinking of just like think about how like. Oh my God, it's like Baywatch. Like really think about like what people were lusting over back when Baywatch was Baywatch. Like, think about how like that let you kind of know like how I guess desensitized we are now because it's like literally like, dog, these women ain't even having on like thong bikinis. They had on like 4 like one pieces. Like that, but just think, but that is kind of messed up how far the world has like literally went to like on demon time because it's like, damn, that's crazy. Like I look at that now, like bro, nobody would find this like one piece bathing suit woman sexy. Like where the thongs at? Like that's just so crazy to how like time have changed. But that was just something to think of.
But it's
you guys, it's not about.
It's like Britney Spears. Like remember when Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera came out? Christina Aguilera was more of the
sexual one.
Yeah, and they didn't really play her like that.
For sure.
And Britney Spears was like the all-American girl or whatever, and she got more attention than Christina Aguilera. So I believe it.
And that's kind of crazy now. It makes sense what she's saying, but it's just like, damn, now when you actually think about it, like, damn, that's kind of fucked up because it's like, I feel like for black people, we over push the over sexualized woman like that kind of almost like you damn near almost feel like you. The sad thing is, especially for most female rappers, I mean, of course Taylor Swift not a rapper, but still for most female rappers, they feel like they gotta be sexualized for people to even pay them any attention. For the fact where it's like it's the reverse opposite for white women, where it's kind of like nah, the less sexier you are, the more popular you'll become. Like that's kind of crazy.
Sex at all. It's about love. His love was the key that opened my thighs. I don't have sexual feelings. I'm just a little white girl. Because this album is supposed to be her embodying her sexual energy, thus life of a showgirl. But Taylor either feels unable or isn't willing or whatever it is you want it to be. Taylor doesn't actually embody it. She doesn't explore it because the embodiment of her sexual energy would come at the expense of the brand of Taylor Swift. It's seemingly not compatible, or at least she thinks or her team thinks that it's not compatible. So she has to be her own fully embodied grown woman in order to keep up with the times, but she also has to be like a cute little white girl in order to keep up with the brand of Taylor Swift. And in trying to do both, she successfully does nothing. I would be really curious to know if the album was even her idea, especially since so many of the songs sound like rejected tracks off of some of her old albums. Also, how are you gonna have an album called Life of a Showgirl and yet not a single fucking song on the album has a brass section? Showgirl music is big band, it's blaring horns, it's a hell of a lot of fun. And it just did not exist on this album. Not to mention, none of the songs actually have anything to do with being a showgirl, and really not even the song The Life of a Showgirl. Like, she could have just used the word follies once, and I would have been satisfied. But discussing why the music isn't good sonically is not really the purpose of this video. If you have any questions or you disagree with me, please let me know. I love thinking about white women, and Taylor Swift is just, she's the embodiment of it. She really is.
Alright, I got another white girl. Where's the other one? Damn. This wasn't. Oh no, that wasn't it. Hold on.
Taylor Swift is handing the conservative agenda on a silver platter to the masses. And before I go any further, and before you argue with me, you cannot convince me that the master lyricist of our generation, akin to Shakespeare, the Easter egg master of our generation, is not aware of what her entire optics and lyrics and album and everything is giving at this very moment. And before you suggest that this was supposed to be a satirical album, I would like to remind you how she feels about this album in her own words.
World to me to have this creative experience where like we knew that we had to bring the best ideas we've ever had.
Yeah.
And I also know the pressure I'm putting on this record by saying that, but I don't care because I love it that much. There's not other ones coming. This is the record I've been wanting to make for a very long time.
I'll try to rapid fire this as fast as I can so that my video is not an hour long, but we're going to start with the rollout of the album, the announcement of the album on our Boyfriend's Football podcast. Our boyfriend, who plays for the NFL, who we are now aligning our brand with, who is one of the most racist and problematic industries in our country. Yes. Listen, I don't know how long Taylor Swift's been doing this, but I know it's been a pretty good amount of time. She's worked pretty hard for her career. But why are we sharing what you are saying is the best piece of work you've ever put out, and you're going to share it with a man? You're going to announce it with a... This is where the optics are starting. We are creeping our way down the conservative pipeline, and before you say that's a reach, I'm not done. We all know what's coming next, the engagement. They got engaged as a package deal with the album rollout. Yes, they did. The album was announced, and 1 day later, 2 days later, it was announced that they were engaged. We talk about how manufactured that is. We could talk about how inauthentic it is. We could also talk about how it is yet another step towards the conservative pipeline. Now, if you're unaware about her history with the Orange Man, he didn't like her very much. He, in all caps, I hate Taylor Swift. She's a childless cat lady. I want you to bank that for later in the video. But once this engagement happened, we had a public statement put out by Pumpkin Man. And he said, wow, Taylor Swift, you know what? She's a great person. She's a terrific person even. And I'm very happy for them. I wish them best in their marriage. Okay. Now, I'm not claiming that Taylor Swift can control what that man says or that they are partnering in these words. No, I'm not saying that. But the U.S. has a history of using pop culture to further a political agenda. She's doing what he wants everyone else to do, is to get married and have white babies. What I do know that she can control is the music that she puts out. And I'm just going to jump right into it. Canceled is an anthem for those who are over being politically correct. And we're breaking down the wall of shame that it means to be canceled. Taylor Swift says it's okay now to be canceled, and that's actually cool. And maybe if I'm canceled, I could be her friend. See where we're taking steps. When I first heard the lyric, I'm not a bad bitch and I'm not a savage, if that is not the most dog whistly shit I've ever heard in my life. Moving on to wish list.
Now, real quick, after I played, I'm gonna play one more video, but that is the line, I guess, that had a lot of people upset, and that was the line that kind of especially had, you will see a lot, I saw a lot of gay men, black people that kind of, I guess there were Taylor Swift fans get upset, but again, like I said, this is a white woman, again, that I'm playing, and that line that I'm not a bad bitch, a savage or whatever, of course they show tied in a second, but that is realistically the line that kind of sent people over the top and kind of made them put 2 and 2 together.
Let's take a moment for these lyrics. They want a fat ass and a baby face. They want freedom. They want 3 dogs they call their kids. But I just want you. Have a couple kids, have the whole block looking like you. And say that again. I want to have your white babies, and I actually want our entire neighborhood to be racially homogenous. She went through this entire thing with Trump, right? About how she and her fan base did not like being called childless cat ladies. And now Taylor is calling y'all childless cat ladies because she's about to pop out some kids. And you know what's coming next? Taylor Swift line of baby product. You too could pop out some kids and live in a racially homogenous neighborhood. This song was very much giving Pick Me. I thought that we learned our lesson with the she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts. The Pick Me song of all Pick Me songs. This is that in this different font, but worse. Do you understand? Not to mention the blatant disrespect that it is to put a song about Travis Kelce's over a Jackson 5 interpolation. This all feels so blatantly obvious to me, the pipeline that we are sliding down, especially with her bestie. The same week that the album was announced, Lana Del Rey came out with this cover. The fuck? I feel like I'm on the show Pranked and also on Black Mirror. It's the crossover episode. This is where I'm going to add, the comment that Travis Kelce made about him being honored to play football for Orange Man. And this is where I'm also going to answer your question. Well, does she owe us her political opinions? She's just a pop star. Well, yes, she does. She is a white woman with one of the most massive platforms in our world today. In Miss Americana, she platformed herself as an ally and monetized off of that. So do I expect a white woman with the biggest platform in the world to make moves with politics? Yeah, I do.
All right, that's enough for the white people. I'm gonna give it, just before we get out of here, give it to two blacks and I'm done, because I ain't listening to Taylor Swift album. I don't have no takes, but I just couldn't resist. Like, one thing I can give women, and I'll give gay people, they do a better breakdown on lyrics than niggas, because it's like, I realistically want to sit here and say, like, of course, people did these long dives and breakdowns on Kendrick Lamar versus Drake and all of these things. But just for the fact that you get these outlandish, just like, I don't even, like, now I'm kind of mad that I don't, like, I've never listened to a Taylor Swift project, because I kind of want to see where did she go completely left. They got her, like, these videos I'm playing got millions of views on them, like, and these shits just came out like yesterday. Her album came out Friday. I mean, just like any other album. What you talking about, 12 o'clock at night, and you talking about people literally having these, like, they breaking down lyrics, so they actually was listening, and they had some form of what they thought she was going to talk about, and they were disappointed that she didn't made this about, like, about Travis Kelce. So I mean, again, I kind of like, I am a little bit mad. I'm like, damn, I wish I kind of had like some type of backstory to kind of understand what her music kind of already sound like, to kind of be able to compare it. But obviously, that last video I just played, that you talking about, that joint damn near had almost 1 million likes on that joint, and like 60,000 shares. So obviously, a lot of people must feel that way that this young lady felt. So let me go one more. Here we go. Travis Kelce.
And I'm making yet another video about the life of a showgirl, because this is what's trending, so I'm gonna fucking talk about it. That song, I can't think of the name of it. Who cares at this point? It wasn't a good album. But there was a song where she had the lyrics, I'm not a bad bitch, I'm not a savage, or something like that. And I've heard other black people point this out, that it sounds very macro aggressive. Travis Kelce's exes are black women, first of all, beautiful black women at that. Bad bitch, savage is slang that was made by the black community to describe when we're feeling confident. The energy of that song, in addition to the racism, is still giving very immature. She's cheer captain and I'm on the bleachers. For somebody who everybody keeps hailing as this feminist icon, it's not very feminist girl of you to, just because somebody isn't like you, say that they're just this evil, not good person that you can never be like, and we should have pity on you because you're a dork. I'm gonna say this. She's intimidated by Travis's exes. You cannot tell me otherwise. They live in her mind rent-free. Because here's what I think. Don't come for me, and even if you do, I'll beat your ass. Taylor Swift was not the upgrade. Maybe financially, I guess, if you're looking to capitalize off of that and get more exposure, sure. But personality-wise and all the other things, there was no upgradage. And white women cannot stand when we exceed them in any way. Also, people never do anything one time. He had that black phase because that's who he's attracted to. That's another reason why I'm convinced this relationship is a PR relationship. I don't care if they get married, they could spit out 25 kids. You can't tell me any different. He will eventually, maybe not a black woman, but he will eventually go back to the type that he's previously dated.
I got a question for y'all. Do you think that do y'all believe that's a real thing when it comes to dating? Do you think that if you have a phase, is that kind of almost like your type? Do you think realistically you can go from, I dated 20 black women to now I found white women attractive?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, you can grow, you could change and be. I mean, it's. I guess it's possible.
But do you feel like, I mean, we all have seen what Kayla Nicole, I don't know what some of his other exes is, but from watching some of these videos, they making it seem like that was probably his longest relationship, but he's dated other black women before. And then I even seen a video where somebody said he tried to shoot a shot at Meg Thee Stallion before, and I guess she just turned him down. Because it made me sit here and think like that is I can almost understand with you saying say I'm used to dating black women, and then you kind of go into the spicy whites like the Kardashians, or what was the other lady name you said with the mole on her face?
Cindy Crawford.
Like if you can go to one of them, I can get it. I think most people can get it. Most people will understand. Like I don't feel like, oh, if I used to date all black women, then you end up dating a Kardashian. Niggas wouldn't be like, oh, now you dating white women. They're just like, you dating a Kardashian. Like that kind of just seems like a little bit more on paper. It looks a little bit more because they kind of like they resemble black. I mean, of course, by all the plastic surgery and stuff they have, they resemble black women now. So it kind of just would make sense. But just to go from all like. Man, I don't care what y'all say. If you have never seen that orange bathing suit, Joe, when Kayla Nicole walking down that runway, bro, you can't go from that to just like laying in the bed with a little boy, dog. I'm sorry. Like it's impossible. Like there's no way in hell. Cause like even like I know y'all tell y'all all the time, like even when it comes to like watching porn, bro, you just got an appetite for certain shit. Like some shit just ain't gonna do it for you. Like, and that's when people always like people who watch porn, they always make that joke. I'm on page 99 or 150 because you looking for what you like. You know what you like, so that's what you looking for. You not just like you can't just settle for anything. So it's no way in hell you sit here telling me like, yeah, maybe the toxicity wise, like of course I wasn't in their relationship, so I don't know if the relationship was super toxic or crazy or whatever the case may be. So you don't know that, but it's hard to sit here and say, I'm used to fucking all that body, and now I'm just going like I'm going plain Jane. Like, man, all right, I guess.
It is what it is, and I think she knows that she's on borrowed time. I don't want any woman to feel like that. I'm not, I love it. This is very sad if they actually are in a relationship, which I'm not buying it. I'm just stating that this is how it is. This is why Taylor Swift fans have so much smoke for his exes. They talk about the exes more than Taylor Swift does, more than the media does, because they know that what I'm saying is fucking true. Taylor Swift, I remember, now I used to be a Katy Perry fan, not so much anymore. But there was a time when Katy Perry made a tweet basically calling Taylor Swift Regina George. And I remember at the time thinking, that's kind of harsh, but it's fucking true. You're not a better woman because you're a dork who's not cool. And you don't have to put down those women at all. It's normal to feel intimidated, to feel a little envious, but you don't have to put them down either. Travis is not with them anymore. He's with you. You should be focused on that, not what they're doing, which leads me to believe that Travis has said or done something, had to have, that has made her feel insecure in this way, because behind every insecure woman who's putting down the exes is a man who gave her reason to feel as if she should be insecure and jealous of his exes. And you can't tell me otherwise.
All right, this is the last one. This is a black woman who a little bit more animated, so this won't be as dry and boring, and then we can get out of the Taylor Swift news.
So on my second listen, I listened to the album again this morning. So I'm like, okay, that was my first one. Let me listen to it one more time. The songs that I said I liked, I still do like. And this is what I took from that the second time I listened to Eldest Daughter. She clearly has a problem with the fact that he has a history of dating black women. Like, she clearly has a problem with that. Because the first time I heard her say it, I'm like, this just sounds weird as fuck coming out your mouth. It sounds weird as fuck because it was racist. And there's actually a host of other things that are problems. And the rest of the other problems come from the fans' perspective of her. For one, when we were all like, oh, this album sounds like all of her music. It does not sound different than her music. I just think there are two things happening. One of two things are happening with the songwriting. And I kind of alluded to it in the first video I made about it, is that you are either super lazy and just throwing out bullshit because you know people will buy it, or you're a fraud. And you have not been writing all these songs the way you pretended that you have. Because the person who wrote these lyrics could not possibly have written 1989 in red. They simply could not have. So I think that is partially bothering people because now they're having to question what the fuck has actually been going on. And also, because I'm just like, the songs that are bad, they are bad. They are not good songs. They're not good songs. And the songs that are good are straight. Like, they sound like Taylor Swift album cuts. They do. The problem is there's no big, like, song that's like, that really drives the album. There's no song that is the standout, which is why there was no single. She made it seem like there was no single because she wanted you to just take the project. She wants you to take the project because there's not a song that could be the single that would actually... A good single is supposed to give you an idea of the album without giving the whole story away.
One, I do want to give credit. I didn't even know that people, like, because I know a lot of times when you hear podcasts and radio people, like, they hate that people like break down rap songs. Like, no, we can't never enjoy no albums. I didn't even know people did this for Taylor Swift albums. Like, I'm like today years old learning that damn people do deep dives on lyrics to non-rap. Like, this ain't even a fucking rap album. Fuck what race this woman is. This is a non-rap album, and people are literally going down, dissecting and breaking her lyrics down. So I do, one, I'm happy that I kind of got to learn that in real time.
What they do for Beyonce?
But Beyonce kind of like, I ain't gonna say kind of, Beyonce is black culture. So I feel like that's kind of like a little bit like, I feel like black people, we kind of just something that I feel like we kind of overdo anyway. So maybe I am a little bit more surprised because it's like, it's a person who's attached to hip hop. Because Beyonce is attached to hip hop. I mean, for her husband is Jay-Z.
Like I feel like they do it like R&B wise. That's why I said I don't know.
Who have you heard somebody do that for? I mean, outside, like, again, like I'm talking about, like, even if you name an R&B person, not like somebody like a Chris Brown, because Chris Brown is still he's attached to hip hop. Like if Chris Brown wanted to just perform all his hits with just rappers on them, he still probably got 30 of those songs. So that's what I'm saying. Even for Beyonce, both of them are in that same category where they got at least 30 songs with rappers. So I feel like, yeah, you kind of inherit that type of, cultural behavior. So people will, critique their albums super fast like they do rap albums, or break down lyrics or whatever the case may be like rap albums, because
I think it's you just don't see it. I think like even like the Bruno Mars and like the Ed Sheeran, like I've heard people break down people's albums and stuff like that.
I never heard of it before. Maybe, yeah. I mean, you might be right. I just never heard of it. It's never, like, especially even both of those two, I've never heard of that. Like, I've heard people big their albums up, but not actually, like, these people are like digesting like lyrics. Like, this is like, again, like some rap beats. Like, these are some, like, they're doing a huge deep dive on it. Again, like I said, I'll play a little bit more of this and then we can move on to something else, because it is a lot of stuff going on in the world today.
Right? There's not a song on here that does that. Opalite could possibly do that, but the beginning of Opalite is not good. So that's...
I meant the reason I meant to pause is, and all of this and all of these critiques of what these people are saying, I don't want people to ever get it fucked up. Taylor Swift still did damn near, like, I want to say, they said her first week sales gonna be like close to like 3.5 million. So let's be clear, and that's why so many different, all of these videos are going super crazy, and that's why it is a hot topic that people even talking about it and just breaking down these lyrics, because a lot of people actually listen to this joint. Like, and for her not to have no single, and I want to say they said like 2 million out of the 3.5 is like literally like hard copy sales. So again, like, don't get it twisted. Like, even if her fans aren't happy with the project, it's like, you can't be unhappy with them numbers. Like, them numbers is ridiculous. Like, think about what we talking about. Like, think about how much people celebrated Wayne and shit, even Eminem for doing $1 million in a week. You tell me she did 3.5? Like, that is ridiculous. Don't she damn near tripled both of what both of them they did.
It's not. It needed to be reworked. She needs somebody to edit the fuck. Somebody has been editing the fuck out of her first drafts, because that first half sounds like a rough draft, and the back half is a really good song. But you're not going to get a top charting song out of that. And Taylor Swift is not going to put out a single that's going to flop on the charts, which that song would have gotten radio play. It will get spun, but it wasn't going to be a chart topper. Like, the reality is, she has always sounded like this. They just liked the songs. She sounds the same, and you just don't like the songs. That's fair. I was going to say there are Beyonce songs I don't like, but I don't think that's true. There's just songs that I probably wouldn't play all the time. But like, every artist has songs where I'm just like, I can skip that one. Y'all are hearing exactly people who just don't like her music are hearing. You're hearing a bunch of songs that should not be like on the radio. You're hearing a bunch of album cuts, and her album cuts are just... She normally had like 3 or 4 good album cuts, but this is also a short album, kind of. The album is not that long. So if you only have 12 songs that are less than an hour total, and 50% of them are bad, that's an F. That's an F. And the other thing that I've noticed just through like being on social media from the Swifties is that they are realizing that people were right about her always playing the victim. She's always done that. She's literally always done that. The problem they're having now is she's trying to make the villain out of somebody that y'all like. Trying to make the villain out of Charlie XCX when she's actually the weirdo in the situation. Because I'm also not like super familiar with Charlie XCX. I kind of like read a basic idea of what the fuck was going on with that song. But when I went back and looked at the lyrics, it's clearly like it's actually the exact same thing that happened with Sabrina Claudio. Goddamn, Olivia Rodriguez.
It's too many white people. You got me, dog. I'm cool. Like I can't. My brain about to fucking explode. It's like we did 30 minutes of white trash. I'm cool. Like, all right. Shout out to Taylor Swift. Shout out to the Swifties again. Like I said, just for all of those people who just felt like money was just gonna make you choose. I think I always just say this. I think a lot of people, just because you're old, I still don't think a lot of y'all have lived enough life. Because even if you think money don't make you not insecure, it's crazy. And we'll play the Aisha Curry. Like, I just feel like sometimes, because I be on the internet too fast, like we be like a week, we done already kind of talked about this Aisha Curry thing. But of course it did get it became